Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be checking out Hysilens in the Creator Experience server. I'm going to be giving my initial impressions on her so far, and we're going to be testing her with her signature light cone, as well as more budget-friendly light cones in Memory of Chaos, Pure Fiction, and lastly, APOC. If you do enjoy videos like these, do consider subscribing to see more content from me. Leave a like to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. I'm going to basic attack, which Kafka is going to be able to unleash her follow-up. In this team in particular, we are just going to be able to inflict so much damage over time onto these enemies. And with Kafka, I'm not going to immediately use her ultimate since she now has another stack for her follow-up. So now that Kafka unleashes the follow-up, now I'm going to use her ultimate again, just to get another point to be able to use her follow-up. Kafka is going to come in with the follow-up attack right there. And now with Huahua, I am just going to basic attack. Now this enemy is going to summon its little friends, but no problem. We are going to use Black Swan's ultimate right here. And now with Kafka, I'm just going to use her skill, which does give us enough energy here for the ultimate. The tutorial does a very nice job of giving Kafka that extra bit of energy to allow her to use her ultimate more frequently. We also have an energy regen rope on Kafka, so we're going to be able to use her ultimate very frequently. And now we're just dealing so much damage here. With Hysilens, we're going to use ultimate. Boom! 1.7 million damage right there. All that's left is this enemy, and he just dies from the damage over time inflicted onto him and the Arcana pop. So now we're on to the second wave. We are going to get attacked a bit, but this is going to be no problem at all. With Kafka, we are going to use her ultimate like so. And as you guys saw with Huahua, I was basic attacking with her occasionally. I'm primarily going to use her skill when I'm getting low on HP or if I feel as though we're about to get attacked multiple times in a row. When Hysilens' zone is active from her ultimate, it'll actually reduce enemies' attack as well as their defense, which reducing their attack now results in them dealing less damage to us, which means we'll have a little bit better sustainability. So we're going to get attacked here, no problem though with Kafka. I am going to use her ultimate. Once again, we're just going to be able to heavily take advantage of her ultimate and her skill. We did run out of skill points right there, which that is a thing to definitely keep in mind of with this particular team. Now with Hysilens, we are going to use her ultimate right here and deal massive damage since we're also going to break Japard right here. And 1.4 million, there we go. We're going to defeat those little enemies right there. And now with Kafka, we're going to detonate the damage over time inflicted onto those enemies. And it is also worth noting, when Hysilens uses her ultimate, she will detonate the damage over time on enemies as well. Overall, though, we were able to get a 0 cycle clear with that team right there. And now if we take a look at Pure Fiction, this team does very well in Pure Fiction as well from my testing so far. We have a similar game plan, which is essentially just get Kafka her ultimate as frequently as possible, take advantage of her follow-up attacks. With Hysilens as well as Black Swan, we are going to be able to debuff enemies, which will result in the team being able to deal more damage onto them. In the case of Hysilens, her skill will inflict a vulnerability debuff onto all enemies, and then in the case of her ultimate's zone will decrease all enemies' defenses. In the case of Black Swan, she's going to be able to reduce enemies' defenses with her skill, which is awesome. And then also with Black Swan's ultimate, she will be able to inflict a vulnerability onto enemies, which this vulnerability takes effect on the enemy's turn. So that's why you'll commonly see me use Hysilens' ultimate during enemies' turns rather than on her own turn. Now with Kafka, she's just going to use her follow-up, and we should be able now to go into the next wave of enemies. And this team is going to be able to do very nicely due to the fact that enemies will, of course, be inflicted with the damage over time when it is their turn. But in the case of Kafka, her being able to detonate it as frequently as she does, plus with all these enemies on the field, it is just a very nice opportunity to get more and more energy for Kafka, which now results in more ultimate usage. There we go, we just got our ultimate as I'm talking about it right here. We're going to use our ultimate once again. And boom. And what's even nicer is since we are using the Eagle set, Kafka being able to advance herself forward just results in her being able to have very frequent turns as well. So it just ends up working out very nicely with the debuffing from Black Swan, the debuffing from Hysilens, Hysilens being able to deal nice damage herself when it comes to her ultimate, and just how frequently damage over time is going to be inflicted onto enemies with Hysilens on the team. In the case of Kafka, her detonating it as always, and with Black Swan, her Arcana dealing nice damage when it is the enemy's turn. And we're about to go literally into the next wave already of enemies, and we still have 3 turns left in Pure Fiction. So we're already on to the Bronya boss, and we are going to use Kafka's ultimate. We are doing very well, I would say. I'm actually very impressed with this team's performance so far. I'm very curious to see how it does when it comes to the more free-to-play centric light cones. So free light cones we can acquire, or even just 4-star light cones. So we'll get to test that out soon, but so far I'm pretty impressed with the performance of the team here in Pure Fiction, and then we get to see an APOC as well. So we're just going to take some damage here, but it is still the enemy's turn, so I'm going to take advantage of Hysilens' ultimate right here, just to break some of those enemies, deal some nice damage. With Kafka, time to detonate. Boom, there we go. Nice amount of damage right there. The enemies are just taking so much front-loaded damage when it comes to Kafka's skill and her ultimate, even the follow-up, and then also that back-loaded damage from those Arcana pops, as you guys can see. They're just gonna keep attacking us, and the more turns they get, the closer they are to their demise, honestly. So Black Swan, use the ultimate. Kafka now has her ultimate, which means we are going to use it, and boom, there we go, advance forward. I honestly love the Eagle set on Kafka, and of course you can still use the Prisoner set. That is still a decent option on her, but I've honestly just been loving the Eagle set because she just gets to detonate so often now. It's just great. All right, for Hysilens, I'm just going to basic attack. I just wanted to check real quick if the debuffs were all active still on Bronya, which they are. And personally, I actually like having speed boots on Black Swan and Hysilens due to the fact that when it comes to reapplying the vulnerability debuff from Hysilens' skill, and then also the defense reduction debuff from Black Swan's skill, them having a nice amount of speed results in you being able to inflict that debuff very quickly. And when you are entering the next wave, since you have a nice amount of speed, you'll be able to quickly reapply that debuff now on the new enemy. So that's why I like having a nice amount of speed on both Black Swan as well as Hysilens, and focusing on getting those attack percentage substats rather than having the attack boots. Now though, we're just going to carry on with the showcase. We're almost done with Pure Fiction here. You can definitely get a 40k clear here, which is awesome. Bronya's already at 20%, 19% now. With Hysilens, we can now use her ultimate, deal a nice amount of damage right here. And yeah, we should be good to go for that 40k. We are very close here. I know during this showcase, I am yapping quite a bit about just what builds I like and the team overall, but I thought I'd try this style here where I'm just giving my thoughts on the team while also playing through this. Now with Kafka, we're just gonna basically finish this off. I think this ultimate will honestly be enough right here. And boom, 1%. Okay, there we go. The Arcana was enough, nice. We got 40k, awesome, and now let's go to APOC. All right, last showcase for the premium team. We have APOC right here. We actually have a Fei Xiao boss, which is pretty awesome in my opinion, and we're gonna kick her butt. I love Fei Xiao, but unfortunately, we are gonna kick her butt today. We want to break them as quickly as possible, as that will reduce Fei Xiao's toughness, so we're gonna be focusing a bit on that hand, just so we're able to attempt to break them as quickly as possible. With Kafka here, we are going to use her ultimate, advance ourselves forward, and we are just going to, once again, focus on breaking as quickly as we can. And now we actually have to pick a character to turn into a little wolf. I just picked Black Swan, because why not? But we're just going to use this skill right here. We'll be able to nicely break with one of our characters being the wolf. As you guys saw when we used the skill, we were able to deal nice toughness reduction. So we're just going to use Kafka's ultimate here. Boom. So close. We just need to break Fei Xiao now at this point. I really wish Kafka's follow-up there hit Fei Xiao, but it's fine. Little Wolf, go! Now we have Black Swan back, and now we get all of our ultimates. So with Black Swan, we're just going to use her ultimate, and we're just going to use all of our ultimates here and go into the next HP bar in a moment here. And boom, now comes in Hysilens. Boom, 2%. Alrighty, now we're on to the next phase, and pretty much same thing as before. Just break as quickly as possible, get our ultimates, and then we could just finish this off. Use the skill. I really like the little wolf feature though, or I guess mechanic. It's pretty cool. I still think it nicely works out in our favor since we're just able to deal some nice toughness reduction. But regardless, let's now use our skill. Boop. There we go. We can use Hysilens skill. With Kafka, skill once again. We're really close to breaking that hand. We're very, very close. I'm just going to basic attack here with Hua. There we go. Now with the little wolf, we'll be able to break, and that is enough right there. Now we can use our ultimates once again, and I believe we should be able to finish this off. If not, then we might have to use the skill with Kafka perhaps, but we should be able to deal a nice amount of damage right here. Yeah, we'll likely have to use a skill with Kafka. Boom. The follow-up comes in. Oh, it would have been so nice if the ultimates were enough there, but unfortunately they weren't. So we will have to use just a little bit of action value here just to finish off the fight. And there we go. So we had a remaining action value of 1,794, which isn't too bad. We definitely could have had 1,800 plus, honestly, with more optimization. So this is more so my initial impressions, but so far, pretty impressive, I would say. So here we are with the builds. Max out traces. For her relics, we are going to use the C planar set as well as Prisoner in Deep Confinement. Both of these sets are excellent when it comes to our damage over time characters. And for her Eidolons, she is completely E0. Now for Kafka, here she is. Kafka has a nice amount of effect hit rate to take advantage of her trace. We have, before the tutorial mission begins, we have max out traces. For the relics, we are using the C set, which if you would like, you can also use Lushaka. And we are also using the Eagle set so that when Kafka uses her ultimate, she can advance herself forward, which will lead to frequent detonations from Kafka's kit. Now we have Black Swan, and here she is. We are using Xiao Chou's signature light cone. And now for Hua, here she is, which in the case of Black Swan, if you would also like to use her signature light cone when it comes to the more premium side of things, that is also a nice option as well. And when it comes to Kafka, if you would like to use a more premium light cone, you can consider a light cone like Cypher's, which this is essentially a team with only 2 signature light cones. Now though, let's take a look at the free-to-play light cones. So here we have Hysilens, and we also have the Solitary Healing Light Cone, which is a free-to-play light cone. We have Max Out Traces. We are using the same set, which is the C planar set, and then Prisoner in Deep Confinement, which she is E0. Now with Kafka, here she is. I did have to give Kafka a bit more speed due to the fact that we aren't using Hysilens Light Cone anymore, which Hysilens Light Cone will be able to assist with giving your allies more speed. As you guys can see on the screen, here's a description of the Light Cone, and this will assist with giving more speed to our allies. So because of that, we do have to have a bit more speed on Kafka, just so in Memory of Chaos, when she uses her ultimate, she will be able to push herself forward enough. And then of course, here are the remaining builds. Here is Black Swan. And then we're going to take a look at Hua as well. Alrighty, so here's the showcase in Memory of Chaos with the budget-friendly light cones. Here we have the budget-friendly light cones for Pure Fiction, which we were able to get a pretty nice clear for Pure Fiction as well. When it comes to Pure Fiction though, I was very close to getting 40k. However, I do think I messed up a little bit during some segments of the showcase. So because of that, I believe I ended off around 39k, but it was very, very close to the 40k. So that does make me believe that with the budget-friendly light cones, you should be able to get 40k on Pure Fiction as well. All right, so here is the APOC showcase. We are right back to Fei Xiao. Now, when it comes to Hysilens' value, is she worth pulling? I would say for those that love the damage over time playstyle or want to improve their damage over time team, I would definitely say yes. For those that do not have Kafka though, I would highly recommend to consider potentially pulling Kafka, as Kafka is still a very important piece to damage over time, the archetype overall. She will assist heavily when it comes to the front-loaded damage of a damage over time team due to how frequently she can detonate damage over time when it comes to her skill, her ultimate, and so on. So for those that are damage over time enjoyers, I would say Hysilens is definitely worth your while. I would love to know what you all think regarding Hysilens, if you will be pulling her yourself. And lastly, if you did enjoy this video, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.